What's up, everybody? Jordan Stewart here from Vover. Thanks so much for tapping into the Vover Original Show. Just a reminder that if you want to drop your opinions about the episode or respond to the host and guests with your voice, go and download the Vover app wherever you get your apps. Vover, voice over everything. Enjoyed the show.
With domestic league seasons in Europe back in motion, if you tuned in or streamed your club's first match of the new season this weekend and were either thrilled or simply satisfied or even disappointed to the point of actual worry, well, worry not. Vover FC, the sound of world football here on Vover, as we go voice over everything perspective after any match day one. I'm Laurence Scott, and of course the obvious thing to say is it's early. There's a long season ahead. It's just one of nearly 40 matches in league ahead. If you are Man United with 5 goals in a win, or FC Barcelona getting 4 goals to beat a good Real Sociedad squad and doing it without the talisman for nearly the span of 2 decades that was Leo Messi, well, these kind of breakaway wins are certainly notable, but how much does it really demonstrate? Match day one, year to year, in many examples around the world, really all of the matches leading up to the first international break are important, and they do count in the final standings, and there's no denying that a strong start can propel a club, but when it all averages out, these first few matches are still an extension of the preseason. I mean, they're not friendlies, but celebrating on your way out of the stadium, typically premature, as you will see that club again on the other side, and they will be more fully realized in the version of what they will be by then. So none of this is to throw a wet blanket on FC Barcelona, for instance, winning big, getting 2 goals from Braithwaite, not sulking about the departure of Messi, but efforting a joyful turning of the page, veteran presence Gerard Piqué extolling the virtues of what it will be to have some fun as they move forward, and they played loose and relatively light on Sunday, beating Real Sociedad soundly. La Liga gave us what we'd expect. Atleti with a close but solid win, Real Madrid showing power, Barca getting it done in style, Sevilla, some strength and savvy, throw in a win for Valencia. You've got the 5 clubs mentioned there, and those are the only match day one winners in La Liga. The usual suspects, the ones you'd expect. But as we talked about on the Friday, This is La Liga powered by Green Park portion of the program, Atleti will have to learn to not live on the counter, just let it rip, and they're going to have to do this to keep pace. Obviously, if goal differential comes into play, this will matter. We know that Jan Oblak will have clean sheets and will keep the scoring to a minimum, but goals for Atleti, really created from set pieces and the flow of things, will be necessary, as Real Madrid, Barca, and Sevilla will be scoring in bunches. Yet, now the question becomes, when will 1 or 2 of these early winners in La Liga plateau? And that is where depth comes in, and that's where Barca's first weekend and the win was nice, but it's likely to be some fool's gold. I mean, we like Martin Braithwaite. I mean, a solid Danish player from Esbjerg. Quick side note, and that is the home of one of the clubs that are among the 4 that FC Helsingør have beaten en route to a perfect 4-0 start, which we will detail in full on Wednesday's Vover FC. So, back to Braithwaite. He needs to contribute. 2 goals to open. Excellent stuff, yet 5 goals in total last season for Barca. So he's 2/5 of the way there. And, we will not forget that goal of his in the Copa del Rey semis against Sevilla in that comeback win. That was really cool stuff. But we do have to hammer this point home, and we will do so probably weekly. Antoine Griezmann has to carry the load. They must have more than the 13 goals and 8 assists from last season's La Liga campaign from Griezmann. Yes, that is up from the season before, and he didn't always get the kind of run that's needed for eye-popping stats, but week 1 glory for Barca, it will start slipping, and slipping soon, if he isn't running off a stretch of a goal a match and an assist for weeks at a time. That's kind of obvious stuff. Now to the other French star in La Liga, who is not giving up any ground, as he does have the swagger to stay in the fight throughout. We're talking about Karim Benzema, crucial for Real Madrid. And it's, key that he does what he did this weekend. A pair of goals, that killer instinct that Ancelotti will count on, as really the theme of the show here is don't count week 1 eggs before they hatch. And Benzema will do his part in powering what can be a title season for Real Madrid if that defense holds up. So, egg you can count with Benzema. I mean, he's got what it takes in the attitude and way that he just presents himself to show out and bring that swagger, and that will be key. And we talk about the defense. I mean, David Alaba, fresh over from Bayern, and Nacho Fernandez looking quite sharp on the road in the 4-1 win they got over Alaves. You can build on that, and you will build on that, and you've got something if you are Real Madrid. So let's move to the Premier League, and your club's fortunes this past weekend could be telling, but for the unfortunate, there's no excuses. It still was a condensed offseason, and next season you can kind of expect the same sort of deal, as it will be a bit different in a stop and start kind of nature, with World Cup running in late November through December in Qatar. But, this year you've seen several squads giving top players some extra time after Euro 2020 and 2021, as they, had some folks that didn't really figure into preseason so much. And thus week one, a lot of clubs, not the well-oiled machine that supporters expect. And for losing sides, let's not analyze this too heavily, but let's maybe just praise the focus of the winners. And to that end, Man United looking to make this a legitimate campaign. And it seems like they can. We'll see. Let's put that aside for a second. But Liverpool and Chelsea, strong as you would expect. The only real ripcord that we might say will be pulled sooner than later in the wake of a loss was that one coming Friday, the trap game for Arsenal in that new London derby with Brentford as the newly promoted club. Brentford got the 2-0 win that was certainly dreamlike for their fans at home, and yet it's just another nightmare and a string of them for Mikel Arteta. No Aubameyang, no Lacazette, no real punch, no way back really now for Arteta if this continues even for 2 or 3 more matches, it seems. So maybe the last thing to note here for the Premier League, especially as it relates to eventual relegation or even the spots for Champions League and Europa League, this season especially, it really does look like pockets of the table will be bunched up more than usual, and goal differential is going to be razor thin in the margins that it will represent for being on top or bottom in the end. And this is obviously the case each season, but if you can't win or draw this season especially, don't take Hasenhüttl-like losses. And we're talking about those Southampton mega losses that we've seen from time to time the past few seasons, those 9-0 atrocities at the hands of Leicester and then Man United. Southampton, by the way, only lost by 2 goals to Everton this weekend. So with that, this is instructive, certainly, match day 1. But it's not the full story, obviously, for so many reasons. And again, we didn't see huge losses, but some clubs need to tighten things up while others need to build on what they did but keep things in perspective. And we are back on Wednesday with more as we break down the glory that is the start for FC Helsingør in the Danish Nordic Bet Liga. This is good stuff. We're looking forward to bringing it to you. We want to thank you, though, for listening in right here and now to this Monday edition of Vover FC.